Hello to everyone and anyone who may be watching. I am the War Squid, and in this video we are going to jump right into our next Allied campaign. This is going to be the 11th mission, and after this we only have one more, so there are 12 total missions in the Allied campaign for this game, Red Alert 2. And what we're going to do is just hit continue and jump right into the cutscene that precedes the next mission, and then we're going to get right to it.
We're all very sorry about General Carville, Commander. The Soviets have been using their crazy Ivans everywhere. Carville always said that you would be the one to lead us to victory, and it seems that you're proving him right. Commander, I have Professor Einstein on closed circuit channel 2.
Allow me to say Dankeschön, Commander. Thank you for saving my home. I have something to, how shall we say, even the score, yeah? You are aware, yeah, of my chronosphere, a device which it is capable of moving matter through time and through space. I have thought many long days and nights to find the perfect place where to deploy this weapon. There is only one small problem. The perfect place, it is to be found here, on a tiny island in the Florida Keys, just a few short kilometers from Soviet Cuba. I must get back to work.
This is the intel I've been able to gather regarding the Soviet nukes in the area. They'll make chronosphere deployment a real challenge. Good luck, Commander.
Establishing battlefield control. Stand by. Incoming transmission.
Commander, I thought I'd seen everything, but this takes the cake. You guessed it, mind-controlled squid. Intelligence informs me that effective countermeasures involve specially trained dolphins, which are now at your disposal. What's next? Killer whales? Good luck, Commander.
Battle control online.
So right at the beginning here, a new Soviet unit was introduced, obviously, with that mind-controlled squid. And those guys are effective against naval units, so they can go approach one of your ships and cling onto your ship and begin terrorizing it, and that will slowly start to bring the health down on that ship. It does take quite a while, so they're not super effective, but the way to eliminate those, like we just saw, is to use these dolphins here that the Allies have at their disposal and fire upon the ship that the squid is targeting. That will cause the squid to release the ship, and then you can fire on the squid directly from there. Alright, so if we go to our objective tab for this mission, essentially all we have to do is build a chronosphere, which was touched on in the transmission, but we'll touch on that a little bit more and demonstrate what that can do when we get to constructing that. And once we do that, that's going to expand the size of the map. And from there, we're going to be able to proceed with our next objective, which is going to be neutralizing these nuclear weapons on Cuba, which is going to display itself as a new island that we can't see quite yet. But this is going to be pretty similar to one of our previous missions in terms of the fact that we are going to be kind of on our own island over here. There's not a Soviet base on the same island as us, but they are going to slowly send units our direction, and we're just going to have to repel those until we can build a base up. You'll notice right off the bat that we have one little kind of sub part of our base across the water here. We have an ore refinery gathering resources over here. Now the Soviets will target that, so I would recommend building some defenses up around each different aspect of the base that we have here. I would also recommend garrisoning these buildings over here. As you can see right off the bat, these Soviet units tried to do so. They actually got into this building, and I was able to critically damage that building until
Repairing.
it ejected them
Unit
from there.
lost.
Another thing that I would do
Building.
is quickly
New rally
train
point established.
a Navy SEAL
Training.
from your infantry here. And one thing that's going to happen is the Soviet forces will send a
Our
lot
base is under
of
attack.
units.
Repairing.
They'll drop them off onto this island here, and then they will proceed across this bridge in the direction of your base.
Repairing.
And that's going to happen
Unit
constantly
ready.
through the entirety of this mission. So one thing that really helps a lot right off the bat is simply training a Navy SEAL and destroying this bridge repair hut. And they're going to continue dropping units off here. They're simply not going to be able to do anything. They're going to be stuck on that other side of the bridge, which we will see momentarily here.
Let's get it on. Going down.
So destroying that bridge is going to do you a lot of good. That's going to save you a lot of stress trying to repel the forces coming across that bridge.
Ore miner
Yes, sir.
under
Good to
attack.
go. Outstanding. Outstanding.
Our base is under attack.
So
Ore
they've sent some
miner
terror
under
drones my
attack.
direction at this
Construction complete.
ore miner I have up here. One thing you'll quickly
Good
realize
to go.
is if these guys transport back to the ore refinery, it
Outstanding.
kicks that terror drone right out and just
Cannot
leaves them
deploy here.
sitting there right wherever it was that they transported from. So that is one way
Ready to
to
roll.
kind of address it if
Yes, sir.
the Soviet units send terror drones into target your
Let's get it
resource
on.
collectors there.
How about a swim?
I would also suggest destroying this bridge on the other side, the opposite side here.
Hoorah!
That way you have a very limited number of areas in which the enemies can come target your base. A lot more controlled area.
Special delivery. Cover me.
Alright, so now with that bridge gone and this bridge destroyed and kind of halfway down, the Soviet forces have very limited access to coming and targeting our base.
Building.
We have a
Ore
lot
miner
Ready to
under
roll.
easier
attack.
controlled area here.
Good to go.
And they're just going to continue attacking that
Good to
resource
go.
collector there.
Ore
So I'm
miner
going to
under attack.
Good to go.
Our base is under
On our way,
attack.
sir.
Repairing. Building. Repairing.
Ready to roll.
Construction complete. Repairing. Primary building selected. New
Ready to
rally
roll.
point established. Construction complete.
Who's your daddy? Swim. Cover me.
in any case, what we're going to see is a lot of units kind of trickle towards our base, whether that be these boats that swing by or these units that are consistently dropped off here.
Get it on.
We're just going to get kind of nickel and dimed attacked by just a couple
New
things at a
rally
time.
point established.
So it's just more
Primary
tedious
building
kind of
selected.
making sure you're being vigilant
Construction complete.
with defenses in a variety of places.
Unit ready.
And other than that, you just kind of repel those forces that come your direction until you can build a chronosphere.
Repairing.
Standing by. Enemy spotted. Allied ship reporting. Enemy spotted. Navigation systems ready.
Oh no.
Our base is under attack.
So that I had not anticipated. As you can see, they're using a dreadnought to launch missiles at our base here. So like I said, just a lot
Unable to
of
comply. Building in progress.
little things
Our
here.
base is under
Too
attack.
easy.
And he's probably successfully going to take out something else. Hopefully not power. Ooh,
Our base is under
construction
attack.
yard. It's a good thing I had that
Construction
Navy SEAL. So your Navy SEALs can obviously swim, and they have that C4 charge available to them as well. So he was able to
New construction
dispatch
options.
that boat really easily.
Building.
But something to keep in mind that the enemy is going to throw at you on this mission as well. They're going to send, quite a bit of different technology. They've slow walked new technology
Construction
and
complete.
introduced it slowly as we go through the campaign here. But we're late in the
Building.
campaign, so
Pushing away.
obviously the
Construction
opponent has quite a bit of things available to them. They got their dreadnoughts, they've got
Building.
apocalypse tanks, they've got a number of things. What the heck? It actually looks like they even repaired this bridge.
Construction complete.
They did.
Hoorah!
So, yet another thing you have to be aware of. The opponent is going to
How about a swim?
repair this bridge up top.
Construction complete.
Special
Ore
delivery.
miner under
So at
attack.
some point they got an engineer into the
Our
bridge
base is
repair
under
hut
attack.
on this side of the
Gotta stay
bridge,
low.
because now they've got some
sir.
units over here.
Unit lost.
Forward. Let's get it on. How about a
Oh
swim?
my goodness.
Ore miner under attack. Building.
Can't
Ore
do.
miner under attack. Unit lost. New rally point established.
I'm getting
Unit
crushed.
lost. Construction complete.
Let's get
Our
it
base
on.
is under
This
attack.
too easy. How about a swim? How about
Our
a
base is
swim?
under attack. Building.
See you ready. I got him.
Unit promoted. Unit promoted.
So as you can see, those
New
my
rally
goodness,
point
the
established.
dreadnoughts are going to
Training.
be something that
Construction complete.
continue to come at you.
Building.
The enemy is not going to
On
stop
hold.
sending dreadnoughts your direction.
Cancelled.
They took
Building.
out my
On command.
Air Force Command Center. That's why you saw that map disappear in the top right corner there.
Got a clear view,
And we
sir.
caught the tail end of them
Let's
repairing
get
that
it
bridge
on. How about
again
a
just
swim?
now as well.
I got him down.
So yeah, on this mission,
Construction complete.
a little bit more challenging just in terms of the sheer amount of things that are going to be sent your direction.
New rally point
I
established.
definitely would recommend utilizing
Fuel tanks
Navy
ready.
SEALs as much as you can.
Over.
Even stationing a Navy SEAL at each of these bridge repair huts is not a terrible idea, just so that there's one available to quickly take
Unit
out
ready.
a bridge if they repair it
Hoorah.
as needed. Here are a couple Apocalypse tanks, like I briefly mentioned. They do have those at their disposal. We've got a couple Prism Towers here, so those are going to pretty easily eliminate those for me. But they've got a lot of different technology that has been
Construction
kind of
complete.
introduced to us
Ore
that
miner
is
under
now
attack.
coming to fruition
Cannot deploy.
for this mission here
Outstanding.
for the enemy to utilize against us. So it's going to be a little challenging.
Ore miner
Um,
under attack.
I think I'm in a little better position now. I got a couple Navy SEALs ready for me.
Who's your daddy?
Incoming transmission.
This message goes out to Hidden Commander, who continues to dance, but ceases to amuse. Now is time to submit to Soviet supremacy, Commander. After you feel pain from my nuclear bombs, you will wish for another chance.
Okay, so now we're on a little bit more of a time crunch here. Obviously, as we see in the bottom right, they have constructed some nuclear missiles. Now that expanded the map for us, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Once we build our chronosphere, the map is going to expand. They beat us to it, so they constructed some nuclear missiles, and that made the map expand. So, whereas before the entire map kind of was filled with this island that we were on here, as you can see in the map in the top right corner, that's only about half. So the map is
Repairing.
essentially twice as large, and we have an entire Soviet base down here that was revealed to us.
Construction complete.
So I'm just quickly kind of constructing this base. I got my
construction
battle lab
options.
now, and that is going to allow us to build this
Building.
spy satellite, which I would recommend doing as soon as you
New
can.
rally point established.
As we saw in the previous
Building.
mission, that results in the entire map being revealed to you. So that is a huge game changer here.
Igniting boosters.
Got my one Rocketeer just kind of exploring some unrevealed terrain down here as well. So it looks like there's a whole lot of land down here with nothing going on.
I got him.
Unit ready.
I'd also recommend quickly starting to
Construction
construct some
complete.
prism tanks here from your vehicles tab. Alright, now we've got the entirety of the map revealed, so I can kind of pull my Rocketeer back a little bit because I don't really need him exploring unrevealed terrain. So we can see the entirety of this map here. And we got a couple things that
Unit
I want to
ready.
take advantage of. We have a nuclear reactor here,
Building.
a nuclear power plant next to some petroleum barrels, so we have a chance to take out a lot of power. These nuclear missiles take up a
Unit
lot of
promoted.
power.
Unit lost.
No.
Ready to go. Let's get it on. Cover me.
Unit ready.
Going down. Vehicle high ready. Speed, low drag. Fire zone confirmed. Ready to roll.
As you can see, they continue to repair this bridge and try to get some units across. I think I'm going to destroy it with them on it.
Unit ready.
So, took care of that problem there. Another advantage of seeing this entire map is we can see very quickly if the enemy is going to send any dreadnought missiles our direction. Or dreadnought ships our direction.
Repairing. Unit ready. Construction.
So this is what the
complete.
chronosphere looks like. I just finished constructing that. And that is a super weapon that the allies have. So our timer is down here in the bottom right corner as well. And we're going to be able to utilize that pretty significantly prior to when the Soviets are going to launch their nuclear missile. And so what the chronosphere allows us to do is it transports essentially vehicle units exclusively. If you use it on infantry units, it simply kills them. So I'll demonstrate that at some point when we're not on such a time crunch here to beat these nuclear missiles. However, what the chronosphere does is transports units essentially anywhere you want on the map.
Special delivery.
So once that's ready, what we're going to be able to do is utilize the chronosphere and move these prism tanks right here on the other side of the wall is what I like to do. And right when that happens and we start to attack some of the enemy base here, it is going to prompt these apocalypse tanks or essentially any of these units that are just standing idle here to come our direction. So it usually takes a few times of utilizing that chronosphere to officially destroy all of the missiles, but it is an effective tactic to use here. So we got about 53 seconds left on that chronosphere. Typically speaking, in my experience, we can get approximately 4 tanks at a time in the chronosphere. Occasionally I've been able to get 5, but it's so inconsistent. I'm honestly not entirely sure how to do that consistently. Oh, interesting. Another nuclear reactor right behind. Okay, so what we're going to do is the chronosphere is ready. Left click on that chronosphere. That's going to give this clock. That's going to turn your cursor into a clock icon.
Unit promoted.
You click left click over those. It's going to create that cloud type thing that you see. And then you left click where you want to move them. And those 4 units are going to be right there. And we're just going to take advantage as much as we can of the forces that we have over here. So like I said, these apocalypse tanks are going to move towards you. You're just going to have to kind of take the loss on that. They are going to get you. So, like I said, those apocalypse tanks took out those prism tanks pretty quickly. You're not going to successfully get all of them, all these nuclear missiles destroyed in that first go-around, but we almost took out the construction yard, and we were able to take out one of the 3 missiles here. So, what I'm going to do is just build up another force of prism tanks here, and just do the same thing, and just start to slowly grind away at these missiles here. And they may be able to utilize one before I can destroy all 3, but I am pretty confident I'm going to be able to take out at least one more.
Unit ready.
Probably this one here prior to the nuclear missiles being ready to launch. But that's not going to totally cripple us if they're only able to utilize one of them. We'll be in pretty good shape. They will probably hit our war factory here. It actually probably would do quite a bit of damage if they took out, these clustered up power plants here. But we'll just have to see what they do. We've seen in previous missions that their tendency is typically to hit your war factory or your construction yard, maybe occasionally your battle lab. But in any case, we'll be in a decent spot to rebuild and go from there. As you can see, I think our chronosphere takes about 5 minutes to reload right after we use it. And the nuclear missiles are at about 4.5 minutes away from being deployed. So we're probably going to get hit at least once. But we do have a force of these prism tanks here ready to go.
Ready to roll. Outstanding.
Unit ready.
And now it's a waiting game.
Seal ready. Going down. How about a swim?
Chronosphere ready.
Seal ready.
Whoa.
Cover me. Who's your daddy?
Select
All right, so we're going to do this again. We're going to use the chronosphere, create this field of electricity or whatever we want to call that over our tanks. And we're going to scroll over to where we want to move them on the map. And we're simply going to left click.
Activated.
And that's going to put them right there for us.
Unit promoted.
Closing in. Driver up. Bound forward. Fire zone confirmed. Weapon ready.
Unit lost.
Commencing assault.
So, as you can see, all 4 of those were destroyed once again. But we were able to take out the construction yard and one of the other nuclear missiles here. So this third one is going to be the most difficult one to get to just because of where it's positioned. It's a little deeper in the base. We can't just transport them right here on the other side of this wall like we have with the others in quite the same way. But we'll kind of toy around with this here.
Repairing.
Unit reporting. Securing position.
New rally point established.
On your
Building.
man. Special delivery. How about a swim?
I may even try to simply put the prism tanks right directly next to the missile and see if we can just destroy it before we get swarmed too badly. But you have a few options here. And I believe, as far as I remember, that this mission is going to end
Warning. Nuclear
Destination
missile
command
launched.
outstanding.
On hold.
right after all the missiles are destroyed. I don't think we have to take out the entirety of the base, but I could be wrong. And they did launch their missile at us, so we're going to see what that hits. I'm assuming, yep.
Base is under attack. Unit lost. Repairing.
As I suspected, they hit the or the war factory right there, rather.
Building.
So we're going to have to build another war factory in order to continue building these prism tanks here.
Destination commander.
But that is not really a problem. I'm not too displeased with the destruction of that missile there. It didn't really do much to us.
Construction complete. Building. On hold. Cancelled.
Ready to roll.
We have 2 prism tanks I was able to make prior to that missile hitting us. And our chronosphere is going to be ready in a couple seconds here. But I don't want to use that until I can build a few more
Chronosphere ready.
prism tanks here. So I'm going to use this time to show you a couple interesting aspects of the chronosphere. You can use it against your enemy by dropping their tanks into the water, which is something I've always enjoyed doing. It's kind of funny. So what you can do is utilize your chronosphere, select or kind of place that over one of your opponent's tanks, and then simply move them over the water, and it will just sink the tank, and he'll be gone. So that is one thing you can do. And another thing I want to demonstrate as well prior to this mission ending is the
New rally point
the fact that it is lethal against infantry units. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to take out some of the opponent's infantry units when the chronosphere is ready again. Probably just this block here. But for now, we'll just play a waiting game.
Weapon ready. Seal ready. Going down.
Unit ready.
Waiting for our chronosphere to be ready once again.
Bound forward. Destination commander.
We will have enough prism tanks to be able to I believe we'll be able to successfully take out this last missile here, but we got 15 minutes until that nuclear missile is ready, so I'm not really on a time crunch necessarily here. So I'm going to use the next chronosphere to demonstrate what it will do against infantry units. And then the following chronosphere we'll get back to actually completing the objective and taking out this final missile here. So as far as the storyline goes, the Soviet Union had an occupation of Cuba, or at least an ally with Cuba, and they had placed nuclear missiles there. Not entirely unlike real historical events in the past. But as far as the game storyline goes, they had these nuclear missiles placed on Cuba, and that is why that's kind of where the objectives of this particular mission circle around. Deploying your chronosphere and utilizing that technology to take those missiles out, and then the final mission is going to be the next one. The Allied campaign has 12 missions, like I mentioned before, and that will be a all-out attack on Moscow to end the war. Again, as far as the storyline goes, so
Chronosphere ready.
like I said, I'm pretty sure once we take out this final missile, that's going to conclude the mission, but I might have to destroy this whole base. I don't entirely remember. What I'm going to do now is show you what happens if you use the chronosphere on these infantry units here. So if you click the chronosphere icon here in your taskbar on the right side, hover over these infantry units, left click once more, you'll see that energy field start to hover over them, and you don't have to send them into the water here like you do with tanks. You can just click anywhere on the map, even on the land, and it's just gonna kill them. So if we go like this,
Chronosphere activated.
you see that you only see the remnants kind of the bodies of those infantry units right there. They just disappear. So you don't even have to send them in the water or anything. You can just click that to have that energy field hover over them, click somewhere else, even on land, and it's just going to eliminate an entire group of infantry units there. So if you needed to utilize that in that way, you could do so. I've personally found it more effective if you're going to use it as an offensive weapon rather than to move your own units around. I've found it more effective to utilize against tanks than infantry units, just because tanks kind of pose more of a threat to you, which goes without saying. But you could really play around with it in any way that you wanted to. And I think that's pretty much all there is to the utilization of that chronosphere. So, like for example, if you were just kind of playing around, you could take out 3 of the resource gatherers and just drop them into the water right here. Off the top of my head, I don't know if it works against naval units. I'm not sure if you could like move them to the land and destroy them, or just, I don't know what happens. I don't know if that would destroy them or if it wouldn't even work and they wouldn't move. So that could be something that I will try just to demonstrate in the future, in a future mission here. As far as this mission goes, I'm going to just utilize the chronosphere for the next go around to take out this missile here. Hopefully, I think we'll be able to do that. I don't think their units will be able to respond quick enough against us if I simply drop my Prism tanks right next to the missile here, but we're going to find out. And in the meantime, it's kind of a waiting game. So if you wanted to transport
New rally point established.
an infantry unit, the only way that I know how would be to construct a vehicle that they could go inside of.
Unit ready. Building.
And then send an infantry unit into that vehicle, for example.
Orders?
Construction complete.
And then once that infantry unit is inside that vehicle, you could chronosphere that vehicle somewhere else. Now, there's pretty limited
Destination commander. Ready to roll.
tactical reason to do that, unless you were doing that with like a spy, or you had somehow kind of whittled away at the defenses of your opponent, and so you sent a Navy SEAL over there who could just kind of use some C4 charges to take out some key buildings. Maybe I could see that being effective.
Ready. Double time.
But it would have to take a really specific,
Destination
strategic
commander, low drag.
situation being presented to you, in my opinion, for that to be an effective use of your chronosphere, comparing that to
Vehicle ready.
just transporting tanks outright.
Let's get it on. Special delivery.
But it is something that you could utilize if you wanted to transport a spy in one of your IFVs, maybe directly next to an ore refinery to steal money or something. It's not. There are ways that it could be strategic for you to
target.
utilize it that way, but
Chronosphere
I find
ready.
that simply moving offensive units
Warning.
with your chronosphere is the best
activated.
way.
Ready to roll. Closing in.
Unit lost. Unit promoted.
Okay, we got it. I got a little
Incoming
nervous there for a second,
transmission.
but we were able to take out that last missile.
I warned you we would destroy you, Commander. Now that warning will... What?
Disabled. The missiles have been disabled.
But... Ah! Your time is up, Commander! And you will be crushed! Very soon!
Mission accomplished.
Okay, so that does conclude the mission after all. Very similar to a couple of the other missions we've done. The par time on that one is 1 hour and 20 minutes, which I don't know why it's that high. If you utilize that chronosphere strategically, targeting those missiles specifically above all else, you can do this a lot quicker than 1 hour and 20 minutes. But in any case, we were able to do that in less than 30 minutes, just under 29:42, and that will prompt that final transmission with the Soviet premier getting upset that the missiles are destroyed. The acting in this is obviously very cheesy, but ironically, that's one of my favorite things about it. Just the nostalgia of playing this game when I was, a very young child with my dad, particularly, is kind of what makes me feel that nostalgia toward it. But some of the acting cracks me up. But I enjoy it. So in any case, that is going to conclude this video. And in the next video, we will do the 12th campaign mission, and that will be the conclusion of the Allied campaign. And from there, we will move on to the Soviet campaign. So that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.